Hello guys, welcome back to my Holy Paladin guys. Today I'll be showing you our plus 16 Win Spire run. Here were the talents I was using for this dungeon, and let's get into it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So let's talk a little about our team composition in this dungeon. We have a Vengeance Demon Hunter for our tank, a Holy Paladin, which is me, as a healer, an Augmentation Evoker to buff our damage, a Frost Mage, and a Demonology Warlock. A lot depends on our first pull because not only do we use all of our cooldowns, and that plays a big role in how the dungeon will go, but it also plays a lot about mentality, how this dungeon will go. So it's very important not to wipe the first pull. It's very heal heavy. There are a lot of damage over time ticks, which you can dispel as a Holy Paladin. I strongly recommend to be in voice chat or somehow communicate with your party if you're doing this dungeon, because party-wide defensives are going to be a must in this pull. Don't look at my POV here, not using Aura Mastery, which is a big mistake by me. I also had Sacrifice, so the Frost Mage could have lived in this first pull, but that's the only mistake that happened, and I'm pretty happy with how this pull went. Now, after we are done with the first pull, we go to the right side, which is going to go to the big flaming bird. This pack is quite similar to the first pull you have. You have the same dispels, the same everything, so you can play defensives here as well. If you don't have a lot of cooldowns to heal with, healing potions and health salts in our situation were used. And it's a pretty normal pull. Nothing that much except the dispels. Be sure to at least dispel one of them because it helps a lot. You can always flip beacons on these pulls, so you can have more healing and have some damage reduction, which is given by the beacons on the target that you couldn't dispel. Now we chain pull actually into the next pull. We pull a bird. This bird can be stunned by your Hammer of Justice when it starts to cast Fire Spit, Flame Spit. So be on the lookout for that as well. It reduces its damage a lot. There's not a lot of damage you can wipe from here. There's poison puddles which you need to move away from. You can dispel the poisons as well. And when the bird dies, your tank can safely chain pull into the next pack. Now, every time we go down these stairs, I feel like someone is going to die because I get lost or something, so be sure to be maybe in the middle of the pack running down the stairs, or just around your squishies. Make sure to top up before you go down, because they might line of sight you. The poison dots here deal a lot of damage as well. You have the other dots as well from the first couple of packs you go through. And nothing more important, if you pull the cat here, it's gonna pounce, so there's gonna be a lot of damage. We usually split the pool in hierarchies. We don't pull the cat that jumps on you, as there's a lot of damage here. Now, you see, the biggest problem of timing Mythic Plus for me is that we usually play around nighttime and I'm quite sleepy. So most of the plays I do are not thought through, and maybe I don't track my cooldowns so much, but I try my best. And I haven't popped a single time Aura Master, I believe, this dungeon, which I could have popped like 1 or 2 times already. So there are good moments, there are bad moments, but you know, you have to keep pulling, you have to try your best. Now for this pull, there's gonna be pouncing. The cat is going to jump on people, so be sure to pop some personal defensives when it's jumping on you. Top up the group. There's gonna be a party-wide tick as well from the big plant, the big mushroom, when you pull it. Also, be on the lookout for any Blessing of Protection you need to do, because small mobs can appear. and they can fixate onto the target quickly before the tank is able to get aggro, and this can result in a death and slowing down your timer. Those are the ads I was talking about. You can see them now. So for this next boss, I have a kind of personal problem with it. Every time now they joke about it, but I always get hit by the tornadoes. And one time I said they were invisible for me, and they were like really visible. I was just sleepy. So every time we do this pull, I'm like, oh shit, we're just going to go to the boss now. I need to get ready. I need to wake up a little bit. Uh, so this dungeon always has me extra cautious. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's a big personal problem with me. But here you need to interrupt the birds. They're gonna have to fire casts as well as the party-wide dot. So personal defenses here again are going to be good. You saw the warlock die. I could have saved him again, but you know, the sleepy me doesn't think and play that well as the one you're hearing commentating this video at the moment. But once you deal with the big mushroom and with one of the birds, it should be really easy. You just have to stun this one, right? Yeah. And now you're going to go on to the big bird, and this time I didn't. I have become very good at this boss. Detector we're gonna be running, you see it, I'll expand as we fight the boss. But we have the tornado sack in one corner, then we run to the exact other corner of the room, and we always know which way they're going to come from, and not split them. A little bit drifting from our Drake as well. The tank, this is the way we like to do it. The tank always does the first frontal facing the tornadoes, so we know where they're coming from if someone hasn't seen them, and we have extra time to react, stay there a little bit, and then we can position ourselves far away from them, so we have more time to react and not get hit by them. Now, those were placed next to the entrance to the left. Now we're going to place them in the far right corner. So you can see there's a straight line. Now, apart from that, you know, the boss fight is quite easy. If you don't get hit by tornadoes, there's not a lot of damage from this boss. In this intermission, there's party-wide damage, so here you can play Aura Mastery, you can play Personals as well, of course. It all depends on the group you're playing with and how you spread out your defensive so you don't die. And yeah, the boss is actually quite easy once you stop dying by the tornadoes and sending in the fire, so yeah. Oh, how convenient. The boss just died and the music stopped. Well, time to pull the next pack, go on to the next boss. We're going to be going against the duo. So let's support to them and start clearing that way. The first pack we're going to be pulling is quite similar to the second pack we pulled after the big room at the start of the dungeon. It's pretty much a mirror pool, I believe. So you have the dispels again. Personal cooldowns would work great for the guy that doesn't get dispelled. Dispels are a must at this point because they start they start doing a lot of damage. So every missed interrupt is a potential death and a reduction to your timer. So you must be careful with that. Not that you can do a lot as a healer, but ask your party kindly to interrupt if possible. Now you'll pull more mobs, you'll chain pull into them again, so you don't lose tempo and everything. It's very important to chain pull for the evoker from what I understood, so keep that in mind if you're attacking this dungeon and have an evoker in your party. Green puddles are going to spawn on the ground. You see them, you have time to react to get away from them as well. So don't send in them. That's unnecessary damage taken, which will make your healing a lot more difficult. As long as you have holy power here, you can let some of the poison stabs go through, not get interrupted, because it's not a one-shot kill, and you can instantly heal it with a power word glory and a holy shock. So not that big of a deal if it goes through. Now this pack, you need to be a little bit more careful. The big mob hits quite hard from time to time. Your tank might need a Blessing of Sacrifice at some point if he runs out of personal cooldowns for damage reduction. Make sure to not stack here as well, because there's gonna be damage around you. As you can see, the evoker here had a green area marked around him, which was constantly pulsating and dealing damage to everyone inside. There goes the sacrifice. I dispelled myself as well, so I can look more at the health bars of other people and not worry about me dying from a dot that I slept through. If you have time, you can always cast a couple of flash of lights to fill in your holy power if you have downtime from between pulls. Oh, that was sad to watch. Something jumped on me. Here I could have waited for a battle res, and it would have been better actually to wait for a battle res, but I was too fast, and now I get the long death screen. If you die during the pulse, I was actually showing off a mechanic here. If you cannot tell, you can click on the boots. You have a speed boost, which will allow you to get to your party faster. The evoker managing to heal a little bit. I instantly popped Lay on Hands as soon as I got back because he was about to die. And I think we stabilize here. I'm not quite sure. I don't believe anyone else dies. I pop a personal. Damages a lot here. The pulsating shriek from the Banshee does a lot of party-wide damage as well. So Aura Mastery, Divine Toe, everything you have to heal your whole group will be very appreciated here. And now we can go to the Derelict duo and start the pull on them. And advice I have for people in general that are going to push Mythic Plus is do 1 or 2 practice runs before you do your key. That's going to give you more score, because you can be highly scored, but you can forget from time to time what dungeons do and what mechanics are in them. So doing a revision of the dungeon at least is ideal before going into your push. Now, puddles are going to be left on the ground. You need to not overlap with them and place them nicely on the outer ring of the room you're given. They will disappear at a given point, but they slowly disappear, so do not rely on them disappearing if you mess them up. Sadly, our Dractyr died here, or Evoker. But managed to battle rest. Now, one person will get marked by the hook from the big guy. You want to position yourself behind the Banshee so the big guy can drag her in and stop the shriek that she's going to cast while sitting stationary. So she doesn't move. You just have to position yourself well. You have some time to react, which isn't a lot, but it's plenty to not mess it up. And that's pretty much the whole boss fight, so it's just a rinse and repeat again. There aren't phases, there aren't anything. You just place puddles around the room so your party can walk around freely and not die by them because they deal damage. You have the hook that can be given to, I believe, anyone. So go behind the Banshee and let the big guy pull her so she doesn't do the party-wide damage, because if you miss hook, she continues casting and you'll be given another hook. So you'll eventually run out of cooldowns and healing, which is going to result in a wipe. And if you have a little bit more damage on the cleave, you need to focus the big guy because he has a couple million more health than the Banshee, I believe. Like, he has surely more health, which in hierarchies only gets a bigger and bigger difference. Also, forgot to mention, 2 people will be marked with those ghosts spawning onto them. Make sure to dispel them if you're able to, or if they spawn in, just instantly stun them so you don't do damage as well. Now, after you are done with both the Ember Dawn and the Duo, you'll be heading to the third boss, the Commander. You'll start putting more trash. The archers here can be line of sighted so they don't shoot, and that will help your tank to pull onwards. But for these first mobs, you want to hard focus the archer so your tank can pull, because he will just not move. Just sitting there, shooting at you, not wanting to move. Stuns don't work because it instantly starts shooting again. But after you slay the mob, you can push forward. Also, make sure that you position yourself so the phalanx breakers, if they target you to dash through you, don't run to the other side of the room, so your damage doesn't lose DPS, and you can add a couple of seconds to that cleave and help out your timer as well. Keep in mind that arrow rain and normal shooting from the mobs here is stunnable, and if you're lacking space or you feel insecure, you can just stun them and prevent an arrow falling to your head. Now, the phalanx breakers will also shout from time to time, which will interrupt your casting. If you have any, of course, because Holy Paladins is just autocast everything. I mean, is cast, not autocast. But those phalanx breakers are the only ones you have in the dungeon, so make sure to not get interrupted by them. And they do some party-wide damage, so make sure you have holy power to heal that up as well. Now, these guys, you can just single stun them with Hammer of Justice so they can get into the group, or stop spinning so you have more room to play with. The big ogre in this pack and some packs that are going to be during the boss encounter and the intermission is going to cast Fire Nova, which is party-wide damage. You can play a personal defense on it, but it shouldn't. If you're geared enough for the key you're doing, it shouldn't one-shot you. So as long as you keep everyone healthy, close to the maximum, you shouldn't have problems with that dealing unexpected damage. The bleeds are a little bit tricky, but they don't take for that much. So if someone has a bleed and Fire Nova is going to go off, just make sure to spot heal that guy so he doesn't die. This pack is the same, pretty much. You have people throwing their axes, people spinning with their axes, and a giant Fireball Nova going. The ogre is going to cast a mass enrage on all of the mobs that are near it, so A Mass Suit, which is an evoker spell, is going to be greatly appreciated here. Other suits are always going to be nice, like the Druid suit, the Hunter Trank Shot, or the Rogue Shiv. So if you have them, make sure to use them, as it will help a little bit with the damage. And after you're done with the pack, you can go to the side of the room so you don't instantly pull the boss and prepare for it. This is actually one of the bosses I enjoy more healing, and as an encounter as well. It's just a warrior that smacks your tank and from time to time warrior wins. So it's a pretty normal fight. He leaps in the air, as you can see, people are getting marked. He always jumps on the people that are furthest away from him. So you can make him jump onto the tank every second jump. So your party doesn't take that much damage. When he jumps, there are going to be rocks falling from the ceiling, so make sure to not get hit by them, because they will most likely result in an instant death that cannot be healed. He will also mark people with zones around them, which if you don't stack, you'll get feared, and no one likes getting feared, so stack with people. 2 stack and 3 stacks is enough if you're playing 2 melee 3 range, but just make sure no one is alone. Here in the intermission, mobs are going to spawn. You're going to have some Fire Novas again, and the Throw Axe guys. Make sure to be careful with them. The Whirlwind he does can be Blessing of Protection, so if someone wants to cast that much and is in active cooldowns, you can always bob them and they won't take damage from the Whirlwind that the boss casts. That's the intimidating shout with the zones I was talking about, for which you have to group. This time we did a 3 stack in melee and a 2 stack in range. At about 33%, the boss will go into another intermission again, spawning the mobs. So keep that in mind. There are always going to be 2 intermissions, one at 66 or 67%, and one at 33%. Make sure to stack the mobs as quickly as possible, because the boss isn't on a count of blaze storms he casts to stop the intermission, but it's when the mobs die. So the faster you kill the mobs, the faster the boss goes out of intermission. This boss fight is quite straightforward, so nothing out of the ordinary that will happen during the fight. Once you're done with the first intermission, basically the whole boss fight is going to loop. But that isn't the case for the last boss, actually. So after you're done with this boss, you'll instantly go to the next one. So make sure you have enough percentage going into this boss room as well, because there aren't going to be any more adds that you will be able to kill between this boss and the last boss. Great, now that we're done with this boss as well, we'll take the portal and go to the upper room, which will have the last boss in it.
I'll use these relics to return peace to the Spire. Perhaps then, my sisters will return to me. There! The restless heart that haunts us. Please, lay it to rest.
Now we keep and use hero for this boss, so we can go through it quite quickly. The first hour reign, I'm just going to heal it. You can step into it to remove your dot. You will leave lightning on the ground around the arrows, which isn't a problem because you'll get marked either way to clear it, so It's not that big of a deal to leave puddles, just make sure they're grouped so you can clear them. Now you have to do the same for this mechanic to jump over it. A fun story, when we first started doing the dungeons, I didn't know, because this is my first season doing Mythic Plus, and I didn't know any mechanics, I didn't know any mechanics, nor in these dungeons nor previous dungeons. So they told me jump over the blast wave, and what I did was not go onto the arrows. I just pressed spacebar and I died, and it happened like 2 or 3 times. And they asked me, "Okay, how are you dying?" And I was like, "Oh well, I'm pressing space, jumping over it, but I don't think I'm timing it correctly." And I got laughed at again. The mark, if it's given onto you, you can just bow it and it won't do any damage. If it is given to someone else, you can just focus heal them. Holy Lights should deal with the trouble. You have to jump over again. Make sure that you're stacked. No, don't take the arrow of your tank. If you ask why, well, the answer is quite simple. You can wipe from that, because if the tank dies, you won't have enough time to battle rest them before the boss kills another person, and you just have to restart, and then you won't have bloodlust or cooldowns to start with, and you're probably going to fail the key, which is really unfortunate to do so. So be careful not to take the arrow of your tank. Yeah, it's good that I learned it at plus 16, but it happens. And yeah, the boss isn't that difficult. It is actually one of the fights I enjoy a lot as well. Yes, you just cast Holy Light. In this case, the Frost Mage just plays the defensive and doesn't take damage as well, but you get the idea. To be honest, this is one of the bosses I enjoy more as well. The only thing that ruins this dungeon for me are the damn tornadoes on the first boss we do. Like, if I don't see them, which happens actually not so frequently, now that I'm saying it and I think about it, but if that mechanic wasn't in this dungeon, no doubt it would have been my favorite. But with that, I got myself 3.4k rating this season, which is the first time for me. I'm really happy I did it. And you guys as well should have a Windrunner Spire timed. I hope you found the guide useful, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.